But look at this. It's just been hard to find words to describe the eye, the symmetry. Like, it is just incredibly strong right now. A Category 5 hurricane with 160-mile-per-hour winds gusting up towards 200 miles per hour. The rapid intensification this morning has been mind-blowing. We have seen an increase in the center winds, almost 100 miles per hour in just 24 hours. It has just exploded in those incredibly warm ocean temperatures.
It's just an incredible hurricane. It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific. Maximum sustained winds are 160 miles per hour, and it is just gaining strength in the Gulf of Mexico, where you can imagine the winds, the seas are just so incredibly hot, record hot, as you might imagine. You know what's driving that. I don't need to tell you. Global warming, climate change, leading to this and becoming an increasing threat.
So I want to go through a couple of storm surge scenarios for you. If the storm makes landfall in Pinellas County north of Tampa Bay, with the counterclockwise flow, it pushes all that water straight into Tampa Bay, and everybody really from Clearwater, maybe Tarpon Springs, all the way south across the bay and into the bay and down towards Lombo Key, everybody sees the surge. This is a worst case scenario. And if we do see surge right into the bay, well, it's likely to be higher than the 1921 hurricane of 11 feet. Helene was 7 feet. It could be double that. Not out of the question. So it would be a tremendous surge into Tampa Bay. Storm surge scenario 2 takes the system further south, makes landfall around Lombo Key or Anna Maria Island. And then in that case, we have offshore winds in Tampa Bay. So we do not see the flooding across Pinellas County and Hillsborough County, or at least nearly as much. It goes from catastrophic flooding to manageable flooding in Tampa Bay. But obviously, it's catastrophic flooding along the coast all the way down into Manatee, Sarasota counties, and probably even south of that into Fort Myers. Okay, so here are your takeaways. I'm going to leave you with this. We are likely to have a major hurricane Wednesday somewhere in the Bay Area, the strongest storm in 100 years. The landfall is likely to be near Tampa Bay. But which side of the bay is paramount in terms of how destructive the storm is going to be. Tomorrow, finish your preps. Make sure you finish your plans. You go over those plans with your family. And then Tuesday, that's the last day to evacuate. Some of us will be evacuating tomorrow. Others can wait until Tuesday, but Wednesday, it becomes precarious on the roads.
Eric, can you bring up the graphic again? That was scenario 1. I want to highlight something for our audience. You see those arrows, folks, the red arrows? This is when I saw this graphic, this was the graphic, Jeff, that made my heart drop, because this is basically what you've been talking about since, the first few months that I met you, about the worst possible outcome for Tampa and the surrounding area.
So the Tampa Bay Times years ago did a bunch of scenarios. They ran computer models. And what they looked at is, what's the worst case scenario in terms of the direction of the storm coming in? And Eric and JB, what they found is that storms that come in from the west are the worst. So this is, would be a worst case scenario, but only if it makes landfall north of the Skyway. And something that Eric and I were talking about at the desk before, Eric, 12 miles. 12 miles is the difference between Paso Grill and Anna Maria Island. And it's the difference between what would be a $100 billion storm and a $200+ billion storm, just that 12-mile difference in where the storm goes.